because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast in Manchester. It's weighing day. It's been rather eventful. I'm joined by Ben Davison. What is the situation currently regarding, obviously, Maurizio Lara and his weight, etc.? But we'll timestamp this because things are changing ever so. It's 8 minutes past 3.
Yeah, obviously he's missed weight. I know that there's going to be people out there saying, why did you let Leigh come in at championship weight? By the time we knew what weight Maurizio Lara was going to come in at, Leigh had already made championship weight, so to then bring him up and the title not be on the line for Leigh just wouldn't have made sense. Obviously we're not happy with the situation, with that happening. However, we've spoke to the teams have spoken with Matchroom, and there have been, can't go into too much detail, but terms have been put in place to ensure that we are happy and the health and safety is taken into consideration of our fighter.
Because there is, sort of call it a narrative, or there is people out there that are suggesting that the fight shouldn't take place for those health and safety reasons for your fighter.
Yeah, and I totally understand that, and that's something that we have taken into consideration. However, like I said, I can't go into details, but terms, we've come to an agreement that we are happy with. I think that this story that it was the bald that didn't allow Maurizio Lara to make weight is a false narrative, because he got nowhere near the weight that the bald allowed him to make. So, you know, the fact that he's boiled himself right down and could only get down to that, you know, you can look at it that he's weighed in heavy and that's an advantage, or you can look at it he's boiled himself right down and could only get to that. That's how fucked he is as a disadvantage as well. But like I say, for us, there's certain terms that need to be met and must be met for us to be happy. And those terms have been agreed for us to ensure, like I say, the safety of Leigh Wood.
So,
not just the safety, but a fair crack at the whip. That's important as well.
Okay, so to the understanding of everyone, Lara has been stripped of his WBA title. Like that, I think that happened a short while ago.
Yeah, so there was talk about that once. He was told that the bald wouldn't allow him to make that weight. However, he had to weigh in for that to happen. The fact that he got nowhere near the weight that the bald set out for him to be allowed to make suggests that he wouldn't have got anywhere near championship weight anyway.
Again, I made reference to the timestamp of this being now 3:11 on the Friday, because an hour and a half ago you made comments that there was a possibility that the fight wouldn't take place. Yeah?
Yeah, like I say, look, these terms have to be met. If these terms are not met, then, you know, like I said, the health and safety and a fair crack at the whip is most important above all else. So at the moment, these terms are met, and if that remains that way, then the fight will take place.
We haven't spoke to Leigh Wood, but we also know that, again, we kind of can guess Leigh Wood's attitude to this. He just wants to fight, but obviously there needs to be decisions made above that kind of decision from Leigh to in order everything's fight. We know the majority of fighters are just going to want to fight.
Yeah, it's not like, it's a difficult situation, isn't it? To try and talk a fighter out of a fight can be a very difficult conversation to try and have. But like I said, it's important that these terms are met. There's a lot of things in place to ensure that we're happy for the fight to go ahead.
Can you just kind of take us back to Wednesday, Ben, about kind of when you learned of any kind of situation regarding Lara's weight and also the bald? and what was kind of discussed Wednesday, which is now a day and a half ago?
Yeah, so the understanding was that on Thursday night, last night, we was told that he'd missed his check weight. The board were going to make him weigh in at 128 or something like that. Leigh said, okay, I still want to make weight because I want to fight for the title over the £2. Once Leigh had made championship weight, we was informed that he was nowhere near the weight that the board set out for him, and that the weight that he was going to come in at was closer to what he come in at there. However, Leigh had already made championship weight, otherwise I would have said, don't make championship weight, forget that. Let's just come in at the same weight as him. However, once Leigh had already made championship weight to hold it for half an hour to not be able to fight for the title, and of course at that point, there was still a possibility that we just go, nah. So, and like I say, if these terms aren't met, we will walk away if these terms are not met, because that's the most important thing.
Okay, knowing what we do about you and your kind of, even from the original Wood and Lara fight, we know that your interest is of the safety of the fighter. So whatever these terms are, if they are met, it's to your satisfactory standard that you're happy for your fighter to go in at the weight he's at, but more particular at the weight Lara's going to be at.
Yeah. Leigh's naturally a bigger guy anyway. Leigh's just professional. But like I say, to ensure that it's a level playing field, there's been a lot of things discussed and put in place to ensure that.
Just finally, you said on, I think it was on the Matchroom boxing channel, you felt this whole situation's a disgrace. That's strongly how you feel, pretty much.
Yeah, like something else that you've got to take into consideration, talking about pulling this fight and the weight and all the rest of it that Leigh come in at, and Leigh's whole motivation been desperate to become a two-time world champion. That's all he's been, while making weight. Two-time world champion. It's been the whole narrative of his whole training camp and his motivation, his aspirations. So to then have that taken away, potentially taken away, it's not good, is it? Not good at all. And then to have this situation where could be a disadvantage, could be an advantage. I understand, if someone's literally put themselves to the point where they've got nothing left to get down any further, then it could be a disadvantage as well. So for Lara, that is. So look, the terms are put in place to ensure that we're not at a disadvantage.
Okay, just finally, again, I'll say it's 3:15 on the Friday. What is the timescale before kind of the next step, or before you as Team Wood are satisfied? How long is that going to take?
Look, as of now, if everybody stands by the agreement that the teams have had, the fight will take place. If that changes at any point along the way, then we will not be shy to say no.
Okay, well listen, I'll let you crack on with what you have to do. I'm sure you've got a very busy and interesting next few hours. So Ben Davison, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. And if hopefully there's not an update and it is what it is and you guys are kind of happy from that weight situation, but if there is, then I'm sure we'll catch up with you again at some point later.
No problem.
Because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,